Claro, let's solo choque los tres chingones boxing. Shouts to all the chingones y chingonas, man. I'm over here, got my blues on, man. It's an important day to a certain degree. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's bring in the chingones. One man, nothing, not even a hurricane can keep this man down. And I want to touch on it just for a second, but let's go ahead and bring in a gran chingón, el mero mero one, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, what's going on, Ed? I'm glad that we got electricity back on. It came on at 1:46 this morning, and my internet's working. I almost was going to call you saying that I wasn't going to be on, but thank God that the electricity finally came on.
That's right. And Demetro, you're my boy, dog, but you're trying to get blocked with comments like that, carnal. Hey, let's go ahead and let's bring in the boxing scientist, man. One from Mikey TV, one Mr. Mike Zavala.
Gentlemen, what's going on? Ed, Dave.
What's up, Big Mikey?
Hey, Dave, I'm glad you're doing good, man, because it's been crazy all over
Thank
the
you,
news,
brother.
Tampa, Florida, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
What's up,
hey,
Dave?
real quick, David, before we get into some boxing stuff, you're in Tampa, man. I mean, we're over here on the other side of the country. What was it like for you, carnal, with the hurricane and all?
Before I say anything, I want to give a disclaimer. The disclaimer is this: I do not want to look like nostrils, like
Hmm.
Leonard Allaby. I haven't shaved in 2 days because I haven't had
Oh,
a chance to shave. But I do not want to look like nostrils. So just give that disclaimer. You know what, Ed and Mike? It was a roller coaster ride.
Hmm.
Literally, it was a roller coaster ride. I live literally right on the bay. If you look across from my backyard, the bay's there. I could see St. Petersburg. They got hit pretty hard. St. Petersburg, literally 11 miles from me, and to my right, I have Tampa. So I live right on the bay. And I'll tell you, when we got hit with Helena, I was at my house for Helena, and I'll tell you, we had a storm surge without exaggerating, 7 feet. 7 feet. That's the highest it had ever come since 1921 in Tampa Bay. When I bought this house, I talked to a lot of neighbors. Oh, my real estate agent. Oh, we haven't been hit with a hurricane where the waters hit the bay since 1925. Well, guess what? As soon as I move in, we get hit with that one. And a week later, now comes Milton. Hey, JC, what's going on? I do not want to
Mm.
look like Leonard Appleby, JC. I thought about you. Nostrils. I haven't had a chance to shave, but I'll do it tomorrow morning. But I'll tell you guys, we got hit with Helena. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. The waves are coming, pounding my seawall. It came within 2 inches to flood my house. By the
Wow.
grace of God, this is Helena a week ago.
Yeah.
A week later, all of a sudden, they're saying it's a Category 5. It's coming, and the epicenter is going to be between Orlando. I mean, between Tampa and Apollo Beach. I live on Apollo Beach, and I'll tell you, we started sweating the day before yesterday at 0300 hours. Our phones, everything started beeping. Evacuate, evacuate. We get on both of our cars. I have my mother-in-law who's 90 years old living with us. She has stage 4 breast cancer. So I wanted to stay, and I told my wife, get in the car, go to your cousin's house in Fort Lauderdale. I'll meet you there, but I have to be here. She goes, you either go with us or we're staying with you. And when you get those type of orders, you know what I mean? I mean, to me, my mother-in-law's life's worth a lot more than my pride, I guess, or me wanting to take care of my house. So I go, okay, let's go. So they follow us. We get to Fort Lauderdale. It's usually a 3.5 hour drive. It took us 7 hours to get there. And on the way there, just like you see, the apocalypse movies, just like that, dude.
Yeah.
People are stopping off the road. People are going on the right shoulder. People are blocking them. They get out of the car. One of the times, he blocks some guy, gets out of the car. Nobody wants to fight here. Everybody comes out with guns, and we're passing by him. There's two dudes pointing guns at each other, and I just tell my
Wow.
wife, you know what? Keep going, keep going. You know what? I'm not a cop anymore. I'm not going to get involved. I'll be a good witness, but if the car in front of me leaves, I want to get the heck out of there. I don't know what ended up happening. Never found out if they got a shooting or not. It took us 7 hours to get to Fort Lauderdale. We're over there, and all I'm thinking is, you know what? I'm not going to have a house, literally. And right now, I could show you. This is my man cave. It's a second story of my house. It's a second story of my house. Look, you can see all our clothes. You could see our furniture. We basically evacuated all the first floor. I got my main man cave. We have a three-story house, so second floor has all our clothing, has everything. The third floor, we took the smaller stuff that we because it's a big staircase. So we
Mhm.
literally evacuated all our first floor, thinking that the water. They were saying the water surges were going to be 10 to 12 feet. So we thought when we left at 3 in the morning that we were not going to have a house. We were going to have a house, but all the first floor was going to be taken. They had predicted that if the storm surge was going to be that big, that for 1 mile they were going to have 3 to 4 feet of water, and that would have been my house because we're on the bay.
Right,
And I'll tell
right.
you, 1 hour before, I'm over there in Fort Lauderdale, and we're watching the news. And my cousin, he's like a geek when it comes to, hurricanes. He was saying, David, you know what? It's gonna move because it was coming right toward us. Literally within 1 hour before it hit shore, it shifted to the south, which was Sarasota. It hit them, and because it hit them, the winds transferred, and instead of the water coming in toward my house, toward Tampa, it receded the water. It shifted the winds, and the water went back to the ocean. So
Wow.
it was a miracle. But what hit us was 120, 105 winds. When I got back, a couple of the houses around my area, their roofs had been blown off. A lot of them had lanais, like enclosures around their swimming pool. They were gone. Luckily for me, we don't have an enclosure around my pool. But by the grace of God, dude, and I felt bad because during this whole scenario, Ed and Mike, I never, not one time did I pray, God, protect us, dude. I never said that. I always said, God,
Mhm.
you know what? If it's your will, take it. Everything could be replaced. The only thing that cannot be replaced is our loved ones. Take it all.
Mm.
Take it all. And this was my prayer. I kept saying, God, protect that family that didn't have the means with kids to leave, evacuate. That was my prayer. Protect that family. And you know what, God, there's a lot of people praying for us. God heard their prayers, and hopefully God heard mine, and He did protect that family and they're safe today that didn't have the means to evacuate. But yes, it was a big blessing. It was an experience. It was an experience. That's all I could say.
Man, oh man. Well,
Yeah,
good thing you're doing all right, carnal.
yeah,
And you know,
good
one
thing.
one thing that's probably not replaceable is that Salvador Sanchez robe you
That's right.
got
That's
back
why it's
there,
on the
man.
second
You know.
floor. It's on the second floor. My wife goes, "What about my wedding dress? Okay, wedding dress, Salvador Sanchez."
That's funny.
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
funny.
gentlemen. Hey, well, glad you're doing all right, man. And thoughts and prayers to everybody. I heard the last body, I think like 14 people was the last I heard, and that was early this morning. So I don't know if it went up since then or not, but that 14 people had died. Glad you're doing all right, Carnal.
Yes.
Shout outs to
Thank
you
you for
and
your
your loved
prayers,
ones,
guys.
man,
Yeah.
and anybody who's out there going through it, man. Well, let's get into some boxing. Obviously, we got the big fight tomorrow. We'll get to that when we get to it. If you guys want, anybody who's watching this live right now, there is a community post up right now on the community page on Los Tres Chingones Boxing to vote. Who do you think is going to win and how? Right now, uh, one fighter is winning by over 50%, man, in a certain way. We'll get to that towards the end. But guys, let's go ahead and let's start with this. Javante Tank Davis is set to fight December 14th against Lamont Roach. 130-pound Lamont Roach is moving up to 135 pounds to face Tank Davis. David, I'll start with you, brother. What do you think about this fight? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I guess it's going to be pay per view. His fights are pay per view. What's your thoughts about this matchup?
You know what? I'm more excited about part two of what's his name? Rayo, and Pig Cruz. That's going to
Mm,
be the co-main event. I'm more excited about that. It's going to be a knockout, but it's going to be an entertaining fight. Roach is going to give him a pretty good fight, just like Leo Santa Cruz, just like I mean, all these guys gave him good fights till the sixth, seventh round, and then he got their number. He's going to end up knocking him out. but it's going to be entertaining. But like I said, I'm more excited. Yeah, I'm more excited about Rayo and Pitbull too. More excited about that. But it's going to be a good fight
Okay,
while it lasts.
the last I saw, David, that was not going to be in the co-main event.
Oh,
They're
really?
actually,
Okay.
yeah, they're actually talking about having that fight in the undercard of another fight that we'll talk about in just a
Oh,
bit.
Benavides, right? That one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
that's the one. Okay,
yes,
my
yes,
bad. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I'll go next, Mikey, because I think you got some strong words about this. But I'll go next, man.
No.
So look, when it comes to Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, it's it's to me they're not bad fights. Like when he fought Frank Martin, I like the matchup. I think it's a decent fight, but it's not pay-per-view worthy. Okay? Stop making these suckers pay-per-view. It is not pay-per-view worthy. And it's not a fight to say this dude is the best. This dude, he is the man. First of all, you're not the pound for pound best in all of boxing. That's one. And none of these fights even prove that you're the best at 135. You could be. You could be. He looks skillful enough that he probably can be, but we don't know because he doesn't fight those guys. But are these for me? If it were to be free, and they don't pump him up so much as like, whoa, man, he's the best. He's the best. The matchups, I actually kind of like them. I don't think Lamont Roach wins. I think he gets knocked out, but I think it's a decent fight if it weren't pay per view and if people don't praise Tank Davis to be this, huge, he's a massive attraction. He's the king of boxing. Like, no, you're not. But the matchup itself, don't have a pay per view and don't have this over fan base that this dude is the guy when he's not. I don't even think he's the guy at 135, but I think he probably can be if he fights the guys, but he's not. Decent little fight, not worth pay per view whatsoever at all. Moving up another small guy to fight you at 135. Mikey, what's your thoughts on this fight, man? December 14th, Mikey, you get to see the return of Gervonta Tank Davis, Mikey.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's always something a hidden agenda with Tank Davis, a rehydration clause, moving guys up. They said he wanted to fight Rayo, and Robert Garcia exposed them on Twitter. He said, "Yeah, he wants to fight Rayo at 135 when Rayo's a champion at 140 pounds." So there's
Mm.
always hidden agendas with Tank Davis. He always has the up and up on his opponents. If he fought Ryan Garcia, he fought him at a catch weight and a rehydration clause. He fought what's his name? Your boy, he's a welterweight right now.
Oh,
El Azteca,
yeah, yeah, Mario Barrios.
Mario Barrios, and you name them. I just can't bring it, they don't come to my head right now because I'm thinking about the better be a fight. So, but yeah, there's always a hidden agenda. He is good. Yeah, He's waiting for Lomachenko. I heard he wants to fight him now, but Lomachenko's probably in retirement. If we talk about that, he's probably going to
Mm.
retire. But Lomachenko's been calling him out. Shakur Stevens, why that fight? How come that fight hasn't happened? The Tio fight, and other fighters at 140 pounds and 135, like the real fighters. And yeah, he's strategic with it, and he does look sensational in the knockout. But if you really break it down, he always has a hidden agenda with rehydration clause or catch weights. So I'm fed up, man. I don't really care. Keep it 100, Ed and Dave. I don't really care if he when he fights.
Hey, Ed, I agree with you. It should not be a pay per view fight. And number two,
Mm.
do you guys know anybody, Mikey, especially you? I mean, you keep up on stats a lot more than probably both of us. Who has them? I've never seen them on a pound for pound list. I
At
mean,
least
not
said
even the
that.
top line. No, oh, yeah, at least that guy's the only idiot that
Yeah,
does
he
it,
just
right?
does.
But I mean, but seriously, Ed, have you ever seen him? You never see his name on a pound for pound. I have never
Mm,
seen his, even the top 10, I've never seen his
mm.
name.
Yeah,
Tank
no, no.
Davis.
Okay, on legitimate ranking pound for pound list, no, I've never seen him. But he does have an extreme fan base where
Yeah.
they do want to label him as what It's the same guys that say he's right up there with Canelo as the face of boxing, which is not true. That's why I'm saying, like, if you eliminate that and you eliminate the pay per view, man, I think it's a decent fight. Again, I don't think Lamont Roach stands a chance. I think Lamont Roach is going to give him a decent little fight for a few rounds, and then Tank knocks him out. But if we just get back down to reality, Tank is fighting just small little decent fights, but nowhere near to say that guy, he's the top guy at 135. I see I see his skill set, and I say maybe he can beat everybody at 135, but we'll never know unless he fights them. So
I mean, Ed, would it be? Forget about the politically correct. We're
mm,
saying what's in front of us. Is it the
mm,
black community that's making them the pound for pound because they want a pound for pound? They don't have it. I mean, because I mean, I haven't seen too many Chicanos or too many whites or too many Filipinos say that he's the face of boxing. You know what I mean? I mean, we know
mm,
Canelo's the face of boxing. You know, and
mm,
if you want to put somebody else to face up boxing, which is a very bad example, but he does sell a lot of tickets, Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean?
mm.
Just he's an idiot and a whatever, but I mean he does sell a lot more tickets than Tank. But is it the black community that's pushing it, that agenda with him? Because who else do they have? And
I,
we shouldn't have people that mirror themselves, but literally, who else? You know, I mean, how many Chicanos are going to say that he's the face? I haven't heard one say that Tank Davis is the face of boxing.
yeah, yeah, no, we're not gonna keep it politically correct. Demetro's
No,
saying that
it is
ESPN
what it
has
is.
them like 10. Okay.
Mm,
I would say this, David. I would say, oh, you're kind of onto something, but I would just say Canelo haters. Yeah, are a lot of them, Africanos? Yes, but there's also Chicanos in there too. I would say the Canelo haters are trying to find somewhere else to go, and he's a name that has been brought up that says that people do say, oh no, he's the guy, he's the real
yeah,
guy. So mainly it's Canelo haters, whatever they are. Is mainly the Canelo haters that are trying
yeah,
to find somebody else to
somebody, yeah.
throw into that slot, and it's not.
Mhm.
The numbers prove it. The numbers prove it. Canelo, even though he's got some losses, he's still the guy. So, but
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. David, just
go
real
for
quick, and Ed, it's Andre Ward. He said that he's one of the faces of boxing.
mm,
Dante's boxing, Eagle boxing, Ellie Setback, and there's what's up? There's like two more that don't come to mind, but yeah, they're bringing them up because if you really think about it, they're Canelo haters, except Ellie Setback, but the other channels and especially Andre Ward, Canelo haters. So yeah,
And they're all black, right? Except the Jewish guy,
I'm,
Ali Setback. But they're all black, right?
I'm gonna do like Canelo, Dave. No comment. No comment.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You know,
no, no, I'll,
dude,
I'll,
if he
I'll,
was
I'll
being a
comment.
Chicano,
No,
I would say it. I would say it if he
no,
was, but he's
I
not.
look,
You know?
no, I'm David. In a way, yes. In a way, yes. For the most part, I would say most of them are, but I don't want to paint that complete picture
No, of
because
course we can't.
there are, shouts to Coach Malachi, shouts to Blood Boxing, and
Yeah.
these are
Brown and black.
yeah, these are black channels that they don't get down like that. So yeah, I just don't want to paint a broad picture. Are most of them Morenos? Yeah, most of them
Yeah.
are. But I would just say, just the Canelo haters are mainly the
Yeah.
ones that I see that are trying to reach and grasp for some other name to say like, no, 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 this guy is the real name, in boxing, and it's not anything and everything just to try to get Canelo out of that slot.
Yeah.
But like I said, numbers speak for themselves. So, in that card, looks like Jamal Charlo. It's not official, but Jamal Charlo. Now, I know this sounds laughable, but
O- o- o-
let me
Otro
quarterback
loco.
this.
Otro loco.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me quarterback this, right? So Jamal Charlo, not Jamel.
Yeah.
Jamel's the one that already fought Canelo. Jamal Charlo is looking to have a comeback fight. Word is that is going to be in the undercard of the Tank and Lamont Roach. We still don't have an opponent for him yet. He went on a live. I gotta tell you this. Look, I don't like the dude. I still don't like him. I never thought he was a great fighter. I thought he was I thought he was all right. I thought he was a decent fighter. And he basically was saying that he's not married anymore. He's divorced. Everything is done. The divorce is done. He's ready to get back into the ring. And I thought, okay, there might be something to that. I get it. Maybe he didn't want to fight. Now, I can't speak about him drinking and his legal issues, but I can understand not getting into the ring while you're going through this long divorce. If you make some feria, she's going to get a cut. And he was saying on his live, I'm done. The divorce is final. Everything, that's it. It's done. It's over with. Let's fight. He's calling out Bubu Andrade. He's got a few names. So I'm not saying that he's looking to come back, or I'm thinking he's a come back, man, and it's gonna be wow, the comeback of Jamal Charlo. But I'm not gonna lie, I am interested at least a little bit to see him, get back into the ring and see what he's got. I'll start with you on this one, Mikey. What do you think about this Jamal Charlo coming back?
Yeah. Yeah, so according to what I heard, the fight's going to be in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
So that Jamal's from Houston, so another guy to put in there, and he's going to make some noise. And now that you bring up the divorce, that's a strategic move. I don't know how it works. I've never been married. I don't know how divorce works, but I guess after the divorce, anything he makes, it's all his money or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a good move.
Yeah.
That was a good move too. So this is chess, and now he took a break. Now he's back. He's got Bubu Andrade. Bubu Andrade's not that good. He doesn't hit as hard. It's not that much of a gamble. He's a good name, and he could beat him. I mean, I don't know if he could beat him. I don't know. It'll be a good fight. And there's names at 160, and Jermall is interchangeable at 168. There's Munguia. There's the Puerto Rican kid. There's a lot of Pacheco. There's names of it to make some good money. And if you beat Charlo, he's a good name. So I think it was a good move, and he needs to get it together, man. We're gonna see in Houston, Texas, if he still has a little bit left, or he still has some left. So I think it was a good move, chess move, that he did it after the divorce, and he's fighting in Houston, Texas. And if he gets a knockout versus, I don't know if he'll fight Boo Boo, but if he fights somebody and he knocks him out, he's back. That's how boxing works.
David, any thoughts?
Mikey, with all due respect, that drunk thief isn't smart enough to play chess. Okay, he's not smart. He plays
Al
checkers.
Heyman.
He plays checkers if he's lucky. You know what I mean? I mean, if he's gonna come back, you know what? He did slap Caleb Plant. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
No. Caleb Plant slapped him.
He slapped him with his face.
Slapped him. Yeah, slapped him because
Yeah,
he pulled
yeah,
his beard or something, right? He pulled his
Yeah,
beard.
he pulled his beard.
Yeah, he pulled his beard, and Caleb Plant, the
Slapped
una
him,
cachetada. Yeah.
So you know what? That would be have him fight at 168.
Yes.
That, like I told you, Mikey, that drunk alcoholic thief, he's been arrested for being drunk, he's been arrested for stealing. He is not smart enough to play chess. You know what I mean? Lucky to play checkers. Yeah. You know what? Put him in the ring with Caleb Plant. That will sell tickets. Yeah, don't. I mean, the guy was a former champion. He's undefeated. You know what I mean? He has plenty of time to prepare for Caleb Plant. Now it will sell tickets, but he's not going to fight any of the guys you guys mentioned. Now, Cholo, is he fighting at 160 or 168? Do you know?
168 is the word. 168 is the word, and as of right now, he's targeting Bubu Andrade. Caleb Plant just had that fight with McCombie. I don't know if he's going to be ready to come back on time. And Jamal Charlo hasn't fought in a long time. I don't mind if they throw him, just a little tune-up fight. He's been out of the ring for a while. I'm just going to say this: he looked like he got his marbles back on that live. I'm not saying he did, or I'm not saying he's sober. He just looked like, you know what, man? I got rid of that woman. I'm ready to get back into the ring and get my life back together. He looked like that. I'm not saying he's going to. I don't know the guy. I don't know him. He still might be a complete pendejo, but I am interested. He did get me interested in saying, like, okay, I want to see what he's got.
So getting rid of a woman changes your life, Cholo? I could be a light in you, Cholo.
It all depends who she is. It all depends who she is. So I'm interested, and if it's in the co-main event or it's in the undercard, and they give him some little palatero, still be it. But as long as he looks good, as long as he looks sharp, we'll see what happens with that. But gentlemen, a fight that was announced that will be in the undercard of Usyk and Usyk and Fury
Yeah.
is the two guys that lost. That some people say those two guys won. Sergey Boacek against Israel Madrimov. Boacek lost to Virgil Ortiz. In my opinion, I thought he won that fight. I thought he won that fight. He's gonna be facing Israel Madrimov, who lost to Terrence Bud Crawford. Some people thought Madrimov won that fight. I thought Terrence Crawford still won that fight. He gave him a good one, but I still think Crawford won that fight. David, what do you think of this matchup that's going to be in the undercard of Fury and Usyk?
I am excited about that fight. You know what? That has potential to being a fight of the year. That's going to steal the show because those other
Mm,
two panzones. Well, actually, you know what? Usyk's not a panzon. That's not going to be an exciting fight. This one is going to be, you know what? It's going to be an exciting fight. I can't wait. It's going to be a great fight. Can't wait. I found out about that
yeah.
too. I was reading on it, and
Mm,
dude, I mean, literally, I was like, please, I wish it was tomorrow. It's going to be a great fight.
yeah. Yeah. Mikey?
So it's Boyachik versus Madrimov, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good fight, man. It's a good fight.
it is.
I like how Madrimov looked versus Virgil Ortiz. No, no, it's
No,
uh
Boacek fought
yep,
Virgil.
Boyachik. How Boyachik looked with Virgil Ortiz. He
Look
withstood the
good.
storm. Virgil Ortiz went at him so he could take a punch. Madrigal is more like he gives I don't really know him, but what he did with Crawford, of course, every fighter is different. He gave a lot of feints and he was real strategic, real smart. So it's just who fights who's fight, but they're both talented, they're both strong, and they're both exciting. They're dope. I like those two fighters, so I'm down. I'm down to see that fight.
Hey Ed, and look who the coaches are. Look who both of the
Eh,
coaches are.
Manny and
Manny Robles,
Manny Robes and
Joel Diaz.
shoot,
Joel
the
Diaz.
Joel
Joel
Diaz from
Joel
the
Diaz.
desert. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, the coaches.
Yeah.
Now it's going to
Yeah.
be a double fight for us. Them and them. That's just strategy. Robles and Joel Diaz are going to use. It's going to be great,
It's
man.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be
Can't
good.
wait.
I think this fight is gonna steal the show. I
Oh yeah,
know probably globally people are more interested in Tyson Fury and Usyk because what happened in the first fight and all,
yeah.
but just of two dudes going in there and going at it, man. And these guys are again what they're East Siders, man. They're Eastern Europeans. These are my people. These are my gente, man. They're East Siders, man. Shout outs to my East Siders, man. Man, I can't wait for this fight. I think Boacek takes him. I do. I think Boacek takes him, but I don't
Me
see
too.
either one. I don't see either one of these dudes quitting. Like, gosh, man, I'm in love with these dudes, man. That fight from Eastern Europe, man. Speaking of one. Vasily Lomachenko, gentlemen, we've been hearing this for a while, and it's still not official. We heard that he's going to take the rest of the year off. Now that he's going to come back in 2025. Now we're starting to hear that, yeah, he's probably not going to come back at all. Again, it's not official, but he's kind of putting it out there. Like, I just, I don't know, man. I think I'm done, So, David, what's your thoughts on Lomachenko? He's 36 years old. Um, he doesn't have many professional fights, pero tiene un chingo de amateur fights. So this guy his whole life was in boxing. What's your thoughts? You still want to see him? You don't want to see him? What's your thoughts about Vasily
Well,
Lomachenko?
most definitely, man. I want to see him. He's too young to
Mm,
retire. Yeah, he's
mm,
36, but you know what? In reality, the guy lives a very clean life, very disciplined, uh, doesn't drink, doesn't party. He lives a very clean life. I see him as a young 29 year old. You know what I mean? I think he gives us, it's a disservice to us, true boxing aficionados, fans, because I want to see him continue fighting. I mean, I'd like to see him. Now whom would I like to see him fight? Tank Davis. That would be a great fight. Would he win? Maybe not, but go out on your shield. You know what I mean? Go out on your
Mm.
shield, and he's that guy that would go on his shield. Well, Tank Davis and everybody were, getting arrested here in America. Dude, that guy was fighting the Russians. That guy had an
Mm.
AR-15. That guy had a sniper rifle. That guy was fighting while all these guys were in prison or in jail for beating up their girlfriends. Give us another 2 years and end your career fighting Tank. And you know what? I have it a 50-50 fight. But if you don't win, it'll probably be a knockout. Go out on your shield. Give us 2 more years. He's young.
Yeah. Hey, JC, you're right, man. I would say Crawford and Virgil should fight each
Oh
other.
yeah.
You got the two guys who technically lost the fight fighting each other. Have the winners fight each other, man. Mikey Lomachenko, 36 years old. It looks like he's hanging it up. We don't know that, but it looks like it. What's your thoughts, man? Should he still continue? Should he not?
Yeah, I mean, it what he wants, man. He had a long amateur career. He has 2 gold medals, if I'm not mistaken. He was champion. Uh, it just it's what he wants. Maybe he's not feeling it no more. And if you don't feel it, man, it's a dangerous sport. You could get hurt. You could get knocked out. It's easy for yeah, give us 1 year. But if he doesn't have his heart in it, he could really get hurt. Or you know, uh, but I do want to see him. Like Dave said, I want to see him versus Tank. But Tank's not gonna get it if he still looks good, man. That guy does. These guys, they're not gonna get. Tank doesn't care about the fans. He's not gonna give us what we want. Like it or not, he's not going to give us. If Lomachenko decides to fight again and he looks good, Tank's not going to fight him. He needs to fight again and look bad, and then maybe Tank will give him a fight at a catch weight or rehydration clause. That's how we're going to get the fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think a rehydration clause would really hurt him. He's kind of a smaller guy, man. So I would say this about Lomachenko. I've always been a huge fan of his. And do I want to see him continue his career? Absolutely. But only if he wants to. You guys remember his last fight against Cambosos, he had said he only came back because his dad wanted him to come back. He said that he was on record. He's all like, "Well, my dad wanted me to come back, and
Oh, really? I didn't
get
know that.
this."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. So
he
he's
said
done.
that.
He's done.
Yeah, yeah. So I only want him to come back if he's hungry for it. If he's not hungry, boxing is definitely one of those sports where you got to be all the way in, all the way in. And one of the old saying in boxing is once you mention retired, it's already going that way. So unless he finds that fire, that eye of the tiger, and says, like, you know what, one more, one more fight, man. Unless he finds that hunger,
Yeah.
then set off into the sunset, man. Because I don't want to see him come back because he felt pressured or because he's like, yeah, sure, all right, why not? Like, no, don't have that attitude. Be like, you know what? Heck yeah, I want one more. I want one more. Let's do it. But if you don't feel that, then
Leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, leave, man, leave. And it's been a heck of a career, man.
Hey Ed, could you throw Gordo Gordito's statement on there? I want to throw a quick shout out. If it's okay with you guys, Gordo
Yeah.
Gordito, thank you very much. During the eye of the storm, when we were there, I mean, both times, last week with Helene and this week, dude, you were sending me texts and you were praying for my wife, my family, and I. Thank you very much, Gordo Gordito. I really appreciate. I read everything you sent me. Mil gracias. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to throw a shout out to Gordo Gordito. Thank you.
Yeah, shout outs to Gordo for that, man. And I like JC's comment right here.
That's true. Bien violines.
Yeah, so if his heart really isn't in it anymore, or if it's just
Yeah.
partially in it, boxing's not that sport, man. Boxing's not that sport, homie. You're either all in, yeah, that's your life, or You're out. So hopefully we'll see what's up with Lomachenko. Guys, a story that I don't even got all the details. Hopefully you guys can fill me in, or people on the in the chat, or the chingones in the chat. I'll start with you, Mikey. What is going on? Because I was getting Instagram by our brothers, our Texan brothers, man, from Putazos y Pendejadas. What is the story with Chavez? Is there something going on with him and Robert Garcia where there was some sort of threat made to Robert Garcia's life by Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.? Can you tell us a little bit about it, Mikey?
Yeah, just to start it up, I just think Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is a piece of crap. That's all I wanted to say. All right. Well, all
Wow.
right. So yeah, that guy's a piece of crap, though. Even though he's a legend, whatever. Dude, Canelo surpassed his legacy, so whatever. All right. So Robert Garcia he goes to Mexico and has fights. So he has a fighter named Chino, a guy named Chino, and he's a 160 pounder, 154 pounder, 160. So they offered him a fight to fight Omar Chavez, Chavez's son. But at
Mm.
168, because Omar's a big dude, he never makes weight, and not to mention he killed some dude because he didn't make
Yeah.
weight, and he's always beating up on little guys. He had a vicious knockout his last fight in Tijuana, and Robert Garcia exposed that. So they went to Pachuca to fight. The fight was in Pachuca. Sanford Promotions was throwing it, and Pachuca doesn't have a sanctioning body, so they use the rules of the sanctioning bodies of the sanctions. They use those rules from El DF, because Pachuca is right outside El DF, the Distrito Federal. So they use the Distrito Federal sanctioning rules. The rules are you got to make weight, and next day you can't go no more than 8 pounds. And I don't know what they call it in kilos, whatever. So they told Chino, they told Chavez's son, hey, you were going to weigh you, but we're going to weigh you tomorrow. Chavez's son didn't make weight the first time when they weighed in the scale, and then he went to go run, whatever, and he made the weight. But the second weigh-in, the next day, Chino wasn't eating because they told him, you can't come in here with no fight. So he wasn't eating, and the next day, Chavez's son was over. He didn't want to weigh himself. So there was a big melee in the back of the in the back, and Chavez, there's video of Chavez, pinches maricones, pinches culos, and he called Robert's mom a fucking le rayó la madre, called her a puta, rest in peace to his mom, and Robert was really hurt, dude. And not only that, so 3 hours they were going back and forth, and Omar Chavez didn't want to weigh himself, and Robert was in Mexico, you know how they deal in Mexico, so and then so they Robert said no, and then they weighed Omar Chavez, and he still didn't make weight. And then so no, definitely no fight. So they were backstage, and Chavez, there's no video, but he threatened them, and you know how Chavez gets. So they told one of Sanford's representatives told Robert Garcia, hey dude, it's better for you guys to leave because it's gonna get a little, in other words, there's some people that might his life was in jeopardy. Something could happen. The safety was in jeopardy. So they bailed. And then while he was they were bailing, and they went to the hotel. He got another phone call from another representative of Sanford. Hey guys, Robert, I need you to get your clothes and leave the hotel because it's not safe. So in other words, Chavez or his goons or whatever, they threatened his life, dude, in Mexico. And I don't want to get too much in details because, but Chavez or someone gave the word to scare him or to do something because he postponed the fight because usually when his son doesn't make weight, Chavez bullies the opponents. Okay, I'll fight. But Robert knows that this is dangerous. He gave him a fight at 160 when Misael El Chino, he's a really 154, 160, but he gave him the fight at 168 because he wanted to fight Chavez's son. And Pachuca, I'll fight him at 68. He didn't make the weight, and then he did. And then the second weigh-in, he didn't make the weight, and he was real heavy. He looked big, and they decided that it's too dangerous, and they didn't fight. And then Chavez went crazy, went to social media. Hey, estos que son culos, pinches culos, Robert Garcia y Maciel. And he also said, don't let no promoter work with Robert Garcia ever again. Look what he does. He's a piece of shit. And then Robert Garcia, the couple of days later, came back to California, and he exposed everything. And then every time you listen to the interviews by Robert Garcia and his son, the hidden message and the hidden message that you really read between the lines, he talks about that his life was in danger, that someone they advised him to leave because Chavez is someone in Chavez's group or whatever, whoever Chavez is associated with, that they threatened his life, and he was really mad, and he exposed Chavez. And if you beat between the lines, it was cartel connected. That's all I got to say, man. Yeah.
All right. I didn't even know that Omar Chavez was fighting. I remember he retired because he killed some guy in the ring. And that was years ago. I didn't even know he was still fighting. So
Yeah,
I
he
didn't know.
still fought. He fought Canelo's
Okay.
brother.
Oh, okay. So I didn't even know any of this was going on until people were sending me videos. David, any thoughts on this?
You know what? Chavez is old school, bro. I mean, it doesn't make it right. Him, call them culeros or whatever. That, yeah, Misael Rodriguez. Um, he apologized. I mean, okay, it's over now. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's over now. Today he came out on he actually video recorded. I'm not sure if it was Ali Sekbak or somebody that recorded it. He says, "Hey, Robert, I got pissed off. I'm sorry. No disrespect, and I apologize." We leave it at that. You know what I mean? If Robert's life was really in danger in Mexico, he wouldn't be in America today. I'm just telling you that. Getting up and leaving. I worked in Mexico. I know Chavez.
mm,
I saved his life. I know Omar. I saved his life. You know what I mean? So
mm,
with that said, if Robert's life was in danger, he wouldn't have made it back to America. His life was never at danger. People panicked. Que te van a matar. Chavez, I could tell you a lot of inside stories about him, about the father. I mean, look behind me. That's me and Chavez at his house. You know what I mean? He was my client. With that said, he was pissed. You know what I mean? He was pissed. And Mikey, to me, he's still one of the best in Mexico, and he's still a world champion. He got pissed off, and he let his mouth run, and that's why his kids are the way they are. They're
Yep.
both drug addicts. You know what I mean? Because of
mm,
his mouth. That's why his kids are the way they are. Do I condemn him to hell and do I say he's a piece of shit? I can't say that. All I say is that's why his kids are the way they are. I mean, and I say that respectfully. It's sad to say that,
mm.
but he's always protected them. And for him to act the way he did, he apologized. We leave it at that and we go on. I guarantee you, next time he sees Robert, they're going to have a beer or a shot of tequila and life's going to go on. I guarantee you that it's going to happen. Robert's not going to confront him and tell him, hey, you punk, dude, it's over. They're grown men. They're 60 years. Well, Robert's going to be 50. Chavez is 62 years old. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
grown men. But I think his biggest punishment is Chavez. I say that his sons, because
Mm,
he's always, como dice en español, es alcahueta. I don't know how to say that in English. He's always been covering for them instead of helping them.
mm.
He's destroying them, and that says it all. But you're
And,
absolutely right, Mikey. The story you said, hundred
yeah.
percent, 100%.
And, and Martin, and this is the thing, Dave. Not to go against you and all that, but
No,
why
no,
does
no.
Robert keep doubling down on the hidden what happened, that his life was threatened? And he said, I'm not going back to Mexico." He said that. "I'm
Yeah,
not
he
going back
will.
to Mexico."
He will. He will. I guarantee you, he will.
Okay.
You think
And
he'll go back?
Sandberg gave him 3 spots. He gave him 3 spots, as Martin said. But even Robert in his interview, he said, I'm not, I don't even know if I'm going to take him. I don't even know to take him because
Well,
he felt that disrespected. Le rayó la madre.
oh, I
And
know, I
maybe
know, I know, I know. Yeah,
Dave, maybe his life wasn't threatened, but his safety was. Maybe one of his goons or someone,
it
they
could have
wanted to
been.
beat him up. He's in Mexico. You never know. And he
Yeah,
felt disrespected, bro. Really disrespected. Que le rayó la madre, and that it was Chavez. And he still loves Chavez, but he said, "I'm going to talk to him with respect."
yeah, they
But me
are.
going back
Yeah,
to Mexico, I'm not
yeah.
going back, bro. I'm not
And
going back.
I'll tell you, with all due respect, if he goes back to Mexico, I'll go with him. I have a lot of
Okay,
contacts in Mexico. If he's watching the show, which I doubt,
let's tag him.
I'll make sure that nothing's going to happen to him. I mean, I will make sure nothing's going to happen. I can't guarantee it, but he would be safe. He would be safe. He just has to go with the right people. When these guys
Yeah,
go to these events, dude, they don't take the right people. They just take the regular people, not people that know the environment, know the ins and outs. You know what I mean?
yeah,
With all I
yeah.
say
He
this
was scared.
company, I know it. I know every part of Mexico. I worked there for 5 years as a private investigator. So he just needs to take somebody, and I won't charge him a cent. But I guarantee you, I will bring him back without a doubt.
All
Let's
right.
tag
All
him.
right. Yeah, I would wow, that's a wild story, man. And I
It
don't
is.
know if
Yeah.
if I'm Robert Garcia, I don't know if I would deal with Chavez anymore.
Yeah.
Going back to Mexico, yeah, probably, but I don't think I would want to be dealing with Chavez anymore because if it happens again, not the fact that oh man, I'm a fear for my safety, but I don't want to be going through that unprofessionalism.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want those getting loud and start throwing insults and like you want to throw some chingazos. Like, dog, your kids, homie, are some spoiled brats,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be dealing with that. So maybe I'll keep on having some fights there, but I just don't want to deal with you. And
But
you know what, Chavez Senior, he's a legend in the sport. But as somebody put it on there, I don't want to keep giving that dude passes.
Yep.
Chavez
Exactly.
Senior. You know, you did a lot in the 80s and 90s, and you know, yeah, man, you're definitely a legend in the sport. Absolutely, dog. It was like a holiday at my house whenever you fought. I don't want to be giving you passes just because of that. You know, when you screw up, you screw up, and if you're over there, you know, throwing all kinds of groserias because your guy was the one being unprofessional. Come on, man.
but you know what, Ed? He doesn't deal with them. Chavez,
Okay,
the only time he comes across is to call fights on Azteca, Univision, whatever he
right.
calls it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he never deals with them. You know what I mean? And Gordito, I would love to see that fight in the United States. And you know what?
Mhm.
Now
Oh
because
yeah.
that happened, it probably will happen in the United States, and it'll probably be a good fight. And I got Misael Rodriguez knocking him out. You know what I mean? I got him knocking him out. Now it is going to happen in the United States, and people are going to want to see it because of that. And then Chavez is, dude, all those Mexicans, and I say this respectfully, that come to America. I mean, living in San Diego, you go to Tijuana, these guys are eating their sandwich or whatever, they throw their trash out. As soon as they come across that border, dude, they put their trash in a receptacle. They never throw their trash out. They change when they come to America. So yes,
Mhm.
gordito, have that fight here. I guarantee you, Chavez is not going to go berserk at tu madre culeros,
Yeah.
dude. It's going to be much different, much different. But they never see each
Right.
other, Cholo. They never see each other.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, let's move it right along here just real quick because we got to get to the fight tomorrow. But just real quick, thoughts. David versus David, Morel versus Benavides, and they're trying to put Pitbull, the rematch of Pitbull versus Rayo in the undercard. But Benavides versus Morel, David, what's your thoughts
I
on
love
that
it.
one? They're
I
targeting
love
that
it,
for next year.
dude. I love it. They're both two bullies. They
Mm,
were both at 168, and now they're both
The
at
weight bullies.
175. Weight bullies, you know what I mean? Now they're both at 175. Why would they go fight anybody else? Have the two weight bullies fight each other. You know what I mean? I think it's a great fight.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't wait. I got Benavides on it, but
mm.
I think it's a great fight. I think it's gonna be a good slugfest. And you know what? It could go 50-50. I just threw Benavides because of his experience, but this kid is strong too. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
can't wait. But even on that one, I'm more actually no. I think I'm more excited about that one than Rayo and Pitbull number two because I think it's going to be a boring fight, but it's going to be a good fight.
Okay. All right. Mikey, David versus David, 175 with they're trying to make the rematch of Pitbull and Rayo. Looks like that's gonna happen. I think they're targeting January, shoot, I forgot what date,
I
but
think
they're targeting
25th.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that. Something like that. What's your thoughts, Mikey?
Yeah. The Rayo versus Pitbull. Uh, yeah. No, I think Rayo beats him
Yeah.
even better. Even better. Pitbull's too little. He's too little. Rayo's too long. If he stays on the outside and he does what he does, and probably even if he sits on his punches a little bit more, because he did hit him, but he wasn't really sitting on his punches because he was moving. Uh, I think he could land some good punches. I don't know if he could hurt him or not, but he hits hard. So I got Rayo. You got Robert. Yeah, no, I got Rayo on that one.
But what do you have? What
David
do you have
and
on?
David.
Who do you have on David and David?
Yeah, David and David, man. They both look bad. Their last performance, man. They both look bad, but it's at a 175. It was their first fight at 175, so I'll give them a pass. I think David looked a little bit better. My dad was telling me that David Morrell looked better. I was like, I don't know. I think David did look a little bit better. His hand speed looked pretty decent, but they look a little slower. It's a different weight class, so It'll be a good fight, man. A southpaw versus a right hand. It's real strategic. It gets a little boring, but it doesn't have to be boring if they go come forward and they make it a war. So hopefully it's a war. I want to see a war. I don't want to see a chess match, a left versus a right. I want to see a war. So they've been talking trash. Now it's time to back it up, both of them.
You know,
Yeah.
All right, Mikey, real quick, because you've been coming down on Benavides pretty hard that he hasn't fight anybody. Do you give him credit now?
I'll give him credit for David Morrell. He's a
Okay.
young fighter. He had a good amateur. He's still new to the game, and but he's moving up at 175, and he's calling up David Benavidez. So I want to see what's the real deal. If he beats him, hey, he beat a young strong fighter, better than these old farts, these little guys that he's fighting. Yeah, I'll give him props.
hey, Mikey,
Yeah.
and Ed, was he an Olympian, a Cuban Olympian? Do you guys know?
Yeah, he was right.
Morale? I
Yeah, wasn't he?
think he was. I think he
Was he?
was. I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. And originally, Benavides was supposed to fight, what's his name, Jesse Hart,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
that
that
wasn't
was a tough fight.
that wasn't gonna be good, man. So, yeah, excited for this. Hopefully, everything works out and goes through, and hopefully, they got the Rayo and Pitbull rematch under it. I see what Martin says right there. Yeah, if Martin, I'm sorry, if Pitbull loses, that's probably taking all the chances away from him rematching Tank Davis. So we'll see what happens with that. So, gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's talk about the fight tomorrow. It is Riyadh season. The undercard, I don't. Yeah, I am going to watch Jaya Pataya. I do want to see him fight. Chris Eubanks Jr. I do want to see his fight. I mean, I'm not super excited, but we'll see what happens. We're still kind of looking for another opponent for Canelo. But gentlemen, let's actually talk about the showdown between Dimitri Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. So I went ahead, put a poll up. We got 23 votes, and this is how it stands. So the choices are Bivol by knockout, Beterbiev by knockout, Bivol by decision, Beterbiev by decision. So out of 23 votes, Bivol by knockout is 9%. I'll start from the lowest to the highest. Bivol by knockout, 9%. Beterbiev by decision is equal at 9%. So Bivol by knockout is 9%. Beterbiev by decision is 9%. Both of those are tied. Followed by Bivol by decision, 26%. And 57% have Beterbiev by knockout. We've been waiting for this fight. It was actually supposed to happen earlier this year, but Beterbiev got injured. Um, David, I'll start with you. Taking all things considered, okay, all things considered, we got to remember, Bivol has been more busy because while Beterbiev got injured, Bivol stayed active. Yet Bivol is having some out of the ring problems with his wife. He's going through a divorce. She's blasting him all over social media. I mean, she's dogging him. Um, and Beterbiev is coming off of surgery. It's his first fight back since his injury. David, who do you like in this fight? What do you like in this fight? Do you think it's a good fight? The boxing world has been waiting for this fight.
I think it's going to be a very good fight. I don't think it's going to be a boring fight because I see Beterbiev attacking him. The only way Beterbiev is going to lose if he gets tired, but we haven't seen him get tired. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Can Bivol get knocked out? Of course he can. Remember when he fought? What was his name? Not Johnson. He almost went down. What was his name? The guy. He's a worker in New York.
Yeah, yeah.
He works the docks. What's his name? Hey, Anthony, what's going on? He works the docks. What's his name?
Oh,
Uh,
are you
you
talking
know,
about Joe Smith?
Smith.
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember, I mean,
yeah.
they almost had him out. And Smith hits hard, but nothing. Look how Smith looked against Beterbiev. I mean, Beterbiev beat the crap out of him not too long ago. So with that said, I want Beterbiev to win. I want him to win. I like Better Beef. You know what I mean? Dude's solid guy, not personal at all. He's one of those Russians, but you know what? All you hear is good things about him. So I want him to win. But either one, I mean, I have it. If I were to bet, I mean, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would probably go with Beater Beef by knockout, late rounds.
Okay, okay. Hey, Martin, it's actually not. You don't got to pay for it. So originally, it's kind of a strange thing. The undercard is gonna be on the zone, the whole undercard, while the main event is gonna be on ESPN Plus. So there's no pay-per-view, at least on this side of the world. So Mikey, better be coming off of surgery. He's almost 40 years old. At the same Bivol, more active this year, but at the same time, going through a divorce. And his lady, man, I don't know if you guys been seeing, his lady
Yeah.
is trying to really like diminish his reputation, man, on social media. Credit to him, he's not really responding, he's not really going back and forth, but she's really trying to bring him down. So, Mikey, talk to us here, man.
They say father of time is a career ender. I scratch that. Freaking your baby mama ex-wife is a career killer.
Yeah.
Better be is in focus, man. I mean, Bevo is in focus, man. I seen videos behind the scenes with ex-wife yelling at him, throwing stuff at him. The babies are crying, and yeah, dude. It supposedly in a way, and he looks dehydrated. He doesn't look good. That's what analysis we're talking about. That he didn't look good in the weigh-ins. So I don't know, man. I got better be man. This guy's focused. I seen his training. Jesus Christ, he trains like an animal. I got better be stoppage. You want to do the breakdown after or right now, or I already know how he's gonna knock him out. Yeah.
All right. Let us know, man. Let us know. How's he gonna knock him out? Or you know what? No, let me give my thoughts. So going into So since we first heard about this fight, again, this fight was supposed to happen earlier this year. Better Beef got hurt. Okay. Um, that's something to take. That's something to think about. This dude's body is a little fragile. Okay, this guy he's injury prone. Okay, he's not fragile that he can't take a punch. The Vato could take a punch, all right, and he'll give it as much as he can take it. But injuries that happen in his body, okay, this dude is older, better be, I don't know, he's like 32 or something, but I'm sorry. Bevo is like no, Bevo is like 31, 32 years old. It's Better Beef who's like 40 years old. Okay. When they first announced this fight, I was like, you know what, Bevo's got this. I think Bevo can outbox this guy, right? Now I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards Better Beef, just because I'm not really sure his mind is right, man. Um, Definitely his wife, soon to be ex-wife, is doing some dirty stuff, and that's a dirty movida by her, but she's really, putting out all this dirty laundry and putting it out, like trying to make a spectacle of it, man. Um, yeah, I'm. To me, it's kind of. I don't know. I'm sure. Let's see. Convince me, Mikey. Convince me, because I'm not really sure which way to go, man.
Come on,
Once you get,
scientist.
just one more point. Once you get that Canelo money, you're not the same. Look at Berlanga. He's in social
Oh,
media. He thinks he won the fight. He thinks he won the
uh,
fight. He's telling that Canelo did this and that. Dude, you lost the fight. But once you get that Canelo money, you change your wife, you change how you dress, you change your cars. He changed his baby mama. He's
wow.
got a gold digger girlfriend. If you
Yeah.
look at Better Beavis' girl, he has a bad Russian chick. But she's a gold digger. She likes him because of his money. Saying he dumped his wife. Once you get that Canelo money, you're not the same. Think about it, guys. Uh,
Mm,
so, man, let me just tell you how he's gonna knock him out. Bevo, his main thing, he doesn't throw uppercuts and he goes to the body and he throws an overhand right. His main thing, how he starts everything is with his jab. He uses his jab as defensive, he uses his jab as his offense, he uses his jab to push, to prone, everything to jab. And Better Beef, if you really study Better Beef, he counters that jab with timing. Yeah, Bevo might be faster, younger, but he times he goes over that jab. He goes over Better Beef, and that's how he's gonna rock him. He's a master of countering that jab, timing that jab, crossing that jab. He's gonna. That's how he's gonna get him. Bivol needs to switch up that jab. He can't get lazy and all that. With throw the same jab because this guy, because the jab is the weakest punch. It's one of the most important punch, but it's the weakest punch because it's a jab, right? So some fighters eat a jab to get you. I'll eat a jab anytime if I have better Beavis' power, and boom, I'll knock you out. So some fighters eat up the jab just to land that power shot. So you might see Better Beavis eat a jab to go over that his bread and butter, that overhand, that jab, that right hand that goes over that jab. I mean, it's boxer versus puncher, but Better Beavis can punch. Better Beavis been hurt. Better Beavis fought Alex Boltzwick. You know how he fights. He's like a boxer puncher type. He's big, he's long, kind of like Bivol a little bit, not as quite, but the European style. He moves. He was moving, and sooner or later he was landing on Better Beavis. It was a great fight. You watched the Alex Boltzwick fight, but Better Beavis, you can hide, and he knocked him out. He overwhelmed him. Has Bivol ever fought someone like Better Beavis? I don't think so. Better Beavis seen every style, big guys, guys that move. Better Beavis, man, he sets trap. He has footwork. He's been hurt. He's been cut everywhere. I don't think he could withstand Better Beavis' pressure, man. I don't think Bivol has ever seen something like that. Got hit with something like that. Fought something like that. I got Better Beavis, man. I got Better Beavis.
Okay, David, better Beavis being the older guy coming off of surgery, coming off of an injury. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm telling you, Mikey could sell oceanfront property in Arizona. I am convinced, Mikey, you're in the wrong field. You shouldn't be a teacher. You should be a real estate agent.
Yeah.
That's what you should be, a real estate agent. Forget about being a teacher. I'll
Hope
tell
I'm
you,
right,
I'm convinced. I'm with Mikey 110%. I'm with him 110% on this one.
Hope I'm right, man.
You know what, Mikey, you convinced me, dog. I didn't even okay. I didn't even think about that. He made the Canelo money, and here we are. We got marital problems. She's putting it out there that he cheated on her. He hasn't really responded. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Don't know. But you know what, Bivol, you're a bad name, Holmes, for those Eastern Europeans. For the Eastern Europeans, you never hear about them in any divorces or cheating. And maybe all that stuff goes on, and in their, and maybe just in their culture, it's all kept quiet. I got no idea, but they're always extremely disciplined. And Bivol, yeah, man, now you got dirty laundry. I don't know, Holmes. We might need to kick you to the west side of Europe. Go over there dancing around with Tyson Fury or something now, man. Because those Eastern Europeans, you never hear of things like this. So maybe he was undisciplined, man, and that money, changed him. At least she has said that and so much more, which is wrong of her. It's wrong of her. I don't. It's foolish, but yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe, yeah, Mikey, I think you're right, big dog.
Hey, was it Beater Biff that retired Adonis Stevenson, guys?
No, it was Boltzwick that almost killed Adonis Stevenson. Boltzwick was a champion, and he was a killer. He almost killed Adonis. He put him in a coma. Then he fought Beater Biff on a crazy good fight. Then Better Biff retired Boltzwick. And it was a war, a great fight, a great strategic fight.
That's what it was.
So man, I love Better Beavis. I was gonna say a point and I forgot. Let me see. Oh yeah, that does Bivol have enough? That has enough punch, enough power to keep Better Beavis off of him. He only has a 50% knockout ratio. He doesn't hit that hard. He really didn't hurt Canelo. And Canelo's a 5'7", 5'8". He didn't hurt Canelo. He slapped him around. But does he really have the punchy power to get this monster off of you? Because you got to get this fucking monster off of you. It's like a dream. You got to throw some fire at him. And does he have it? He hits solid, but his style, he fights off the back foot a little bit. He jumps up and down with the pendulum step. He doesn't really sit on his punches. He doesn't throw overhand rights, madrazotes. But any shot could still hurt you, of course. But dude, it's Better Beavis is a monster, man. Can you get him off you?
I going into this, I was going with Bivol by decision. Mikey, I'm sold. Better Beavis.
Hope I'm right, guys. I hope I'm right. Don't bet the house, man. I hope I'm right, because this is a 50-50 fight or close, man. It's a great fight. It's a great fight, man.
Hey guys, what time is it going to be the fight? Do you guys know?
3 something, 3 o'clock. That's what I heard.
Yeah, here on the West Coast, the main event, I think is starting about 3 o'clock. So you're
Okay, so
6 o'clock
six
your time.
o'clock. Okay,
Yeah,
good. I'm
yeah,
going to be watching it.
yeah.
Not-
So David, I don't think you gave us a prediction, man. Are
Oh,
you going?
My
Oh, yeah.
prediction, whatever Mikey said. You know what? My
He said
prediction
knockout.
is-
He said knockout. He said
oh,
knockout.
yeah, knockout, later rounds. Mikey, later rounds.
I think so. I think so. But what's gonna, he's gonna move. He's gonna move. He's gonna move. But sooner or later, he's gonna catch him. It takes 6 rounds to feel your opponent out to understand him. So after 6, yeah, later, yeah. But this guy's a monster. It could be early too, dude. I don't know, but I'm gonna say later, Dave.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. If Beat or Beef wins, which I think he will, is Canelo going to challenge him? Because
Oh,
Canelo's
don't
talking
even.
about going up to fight Bivol for all the belts.
Yeah.
You think he will? It's
Uh,
suicide. I think it's suicide.
I don't think so. I think he wants Bivol, not because he wants to be champion at 175, but just to get that loss back. I think that's what he wants. Better Beef has come out and says that he's not interested in Canelo.
Oh yeah, he said that.
So we'll see. If Bivol loses, would you guys still be interested in Canelo versus Bivol?
Oh yeah, because he's going to
I'm
be.
down.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
down.
he's going to be.
Okay.
He needs a revenge.
All right.
He needs a revenge. Hey, what about Better Beef wins and David wins Benavides? Would that be a good fight?
Oh, man.
I would say the winner of David
Face each other.
gets the winner of this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Make
good
that
fight.
happen.
Yeah,
So
make it happen.
all right, gentlemen. Well, we shall see tomorrow. Been waiting for this one for a long time, man. Anything else, fellas, before we wrap it up?
Can't wait for tomorrow, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And there's a couple of little fights here and there. There's some fights here tonight and stuff on the zone, man. If you guys want to go check it out, but we will be back next week. That is one Mr. David Contreras over there fighting off the hurricane, man. God bless you, brother. I'm glad you're doing all right, man.
Thank you for your prayers. Whoever prayed for us, thank you very much.
That is the boxing scientist, the man that is guaranteed for you to go bet your house that Better Beef's gonna win. By
Nah, don't put me. Don't. But I feel it, man. I feel Better Beef. I don't know why.
Cholo Trucker, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Shout out to all the Chingones y Chingonas. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it. So come back and do it again. Catch you guys on next round.
Dave, Ed, see you guys.